Unlock the door, bitch. I'm on my way, and I got chicken strips.
I don't know why they call them chasers. It's not like Chubbs can run real fast.
Double vodka with hot brownie chasers.
She just wanted to watch me eat it. Naked.
I can't say that. That's dirty.
Chasers will do anything to get into your pants. I love them.
Stop it! Stop!
Oh,
God. Chubbs Gone Wild.
Hey there, and welcome to Chubbs Gone Wild, episode 592, recorded on Tuesday, May 27th, 2025. It is 87 degrees and sunny in Chubbland, where it is 157 days until Halloween, 212 days until Christmas, 23 days until Juneteenth, and only 5 days until Pride Month. And they can legislate all they want, but they can't take away our pride.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's right, girl. Let's see. Let's start with today's affirmation. Shall we center ourselves? Take a deep breath and repeat. Life is bringing me everything I need and more. Well, definitely the more. So, yeah. Anyway, speaking of everything I need, let's talk about our patrons, which offers our Patreon offers folks a way to support creators and receive rewards not open to the general public, like, all those special podcasts, videos, books, and other things. And we want to thank our amazing current patrons, Clint, Nephi, Nick, DJ Sausage from the Universe, Scott, Eric, Sean, Charles, Phoenix Dave, Brother Sinatus, Kingsley, Kathy Bacon, and Moose P. Please visit patreon.com/Burlingame to see how you can support our work for as little as $1 a month. Well, there was several big things that happened in history. One good, one not so good. But on this day, the first copies of the classic vampire novel Dracula by Irish writer Bram Stoker appeared in London bookshops in 1897. And a boat carrying 937 refugees, almost all of whom were Jews fleeing Nazi persecution, was turned away from Havana, Cuba in 1939. Only 28 immigrants were admitted into the country. After appeals to the United States and Canada, entry were denied. The rest were forced to sail back to Europe. And we all know what happened then. Okay. Well, let's get into some happier times with some holidays. Today we celebrated Cellophane Tape Day. When's the last time you used cellophane tape?
Christmas.
Yeah, I think right around that time. Oh, I tell a little lie. I wrapped Mother's Day presents. So, yeah. It's National Grape Popsicle Day. Okay.
I used to like them when they tasted like Concord grape. Remember the Concord grape juice that you could get?
Yeah.
And that's how they tasted, and it was like real.
Yeah.
Now it just tastes like
Purple.
cheap purple drink.
Yeah, exactly. It's National Gray Day. Okay. And Nothing to Fear Day. Oh, what a blissful day that will be to celebrate someday. Old Time Player Piano Day. I haven't seen one of those in a long time. Also, it's National Sunscreen Protection Day. Did you use sunscreen yesterday?
I did not.
Oh, well, we weren't really in the sun the way the
I
other
wasn't going to get in the sun, so I
Yeah.
wasn't putting anything on.
It's like it was too warm to be in the sun, but it was too cold to be in the pool. So
It wasn't too warm to be in the sun. It's just I wasn't going to be in the sun.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's all the holidays.
That's it.
Yeah, we didn't celebrate hardly anything there either. So sad. We need to do more. We need to get out some cellophane tape. All right, well, it's time for some birthdays. And we want to wish happy birthday to Peter Lynn, author Pat Henshaw, Curtis, Peter. Oh, it's one of our wonderful patrons, Mr. Nick. Yes, Mr. Nick's birthday is today. Happy birthday, Nick. Also, Mike, and we celebrated those upcoming birthdays. Dan, Matthew, Thomas, one of our actors from the old Lambda Players. We have that very handsome actor Ian Harvey. Remember him from Will and Grace when he played the trans man Baker?
I remember him very well.
Oh, such a handsome man. We also have singer extraordinaire Mr. Xavier Toscano. Happy birthday, Xavier. Oh, he's getting a lot of work lately, which is really neat to see. We also have, that sweet podcaster Nessa. Hold on. There, we celebrated Nessa. And we have Ronald, Rick, Marcus, Brandon, Cheryl. Oh, Cheryl Trigg Mikowski. She's one of the podcasters I used to work with, Matt Weinstein. We have local hottie Dale and Philip, Mark, Jeff, Robert, and Daniel. Sweet Daniel. All right. Well, happy birthday, everybody. All right, back over to the Trello where we can see. Oh my God, we also need to celebrate Nephi's birthday. I think he was on pins and needles saying, "Where's my birthday announcement?" So, yes, happy birthday, Nephi. So wonderful. All right, well, Sean wrote into our feedback and says that he watched Lost as it originally aired and when it originally aired and thought it was fine. The ending does not feel. Oh, wait, hold on. The ending does feel kind of anticlimactic. Not a show I think I'd ever rewatch.
It's interesting. I just read an article on amazingly on Lost and what the ending that they came up with.
Mm-hmm.
And it said basically the producers felt that the audience was not happy with some of the choices that they had been making, jumping timelines, dimensions, whatever the fuck they were doing. The audiences weren't liking that, so they're ending the show. So they should end it with a basically a happy ending, so that the audiences won't feel that they've been cheated out of 6 years. I mean, imagine if they did something that was really just out of the world, just,
Yeah.
yeah, you know how it
I
is.
I
Sometimes you have to give the audiences what they want.
yeah. I felt cheated after 3 seasons and just gave up.
Yeah.
So yeah, I always thought I'd go back and finish it out, but I just have no interest.
But I will say that it really helped um in my head keeping track of what was going on, because I was watching it pretty much daily.
Mm-hmm.
That really helps. And some things that just does. Like if you're going to watch those terrible fantasy shows that are on streaming, they're 8 to 10 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't purge through those things, you're not going to make it. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
I think that's what killed the Wheel of Time, was that I mean, besides being just awful, the fact is that you're waiting for another episode to drop, and it's like, oh, maybe I'm not.
Right. Well, and also I think on those shows they're always chasing something, some sword or some magic light or some way to get rid of some evil person or being. And that's great, but if you don't give us enough, if you don't make us feel like we're accomplishing something, but we're just spinning around and around, and no, that's another false start or whatever. It's just,
And when they do have a kind of a good one
mhm.
that works in episodically like that, like the oh God, what was it called? They were the it was Lisa Kudrow. It was just out. The
Oh,
Time
yeah.
Bandits. Time Bandits.
Yeah.
Time Bandits actually really worked, and then they don't give it a second season because it's too
Mm.
different, you know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I still thought it was kind of clever. But yeah, they've got to be careful. Like the Witcher shows are much better when you watch them right through.
I was actually just going to say that. I'm like, that's the only way that I can deal with The Witcher is if I binge it, because otherwise, I week to week, I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah.
Um,
And sometimes they don't have recaps on those
yeah,
shows, which
yeah,
is crazy. You've got to have recaps. I
I
mean,
know. And
tell me what's
sometimes the recaps get cut off and you don't realize it. So
I guess.
I don't know. Anyway, thank you, Sean. And then we have Chub Hugs. What Chub Hugs do you have to send out?
Well, it's interesting. This weekend was like the biggest travel weekend in a long time,
Mm,
and they were saying that there were people whose planes were delayed, for hours, but fortunately their flights were delayed because the TSA was so long to get through
mhm.
that by the time they would have gotten through or the time they did get through the TSA, their flight would have already been gone.
Oh,
So,
wow.
so all these travelers, I'm sending out chub hugs because I know what it's like to do a lot of traveling all at one time,
Mm,
and you want it to be smooth, and when it's not, it is not fun.
no. Ugh. All right. Well, for me, I want to send out a happy chub hug this time. And that is to our dear friend, Mr. and our patron, Mr. Clint, and his dog, Odin, who, watching them yesterday, is just, it was just such a perfect fit. Here is this dog who spent his early life being, well, he is a puppy. He's probably about a year old, I think. But his very early life was abused. He has BBs still lodged under his skin. He lost an eye from being shot with a BB, and it got lodged in, and nobody knew it until they took the eye out. Um, he was just a scared little guy. And then he came to Mr. Clint, and the two of them are just inseparable and bonded, and he is a happy, healthy dog. And it was just really, really moving to see that. So anyway, um, yeah, happy Chub Hug. All right. In the news. A federal judge has ordered the current regime to facilitate the return of gay Guatemalan man who was deported to Mexico. That is the makeup artist, I believe, in spite of his fears of being harmed there, and who has since been returned to Guatemala. And they aren't going to return him. We can't even get proof of life, but still, he has been ordered to be returned. All right. Morgan Armstrong, a senior at the Tennessee Christian, come on. No, I keep wanting to say purgatory.
Preparatory.
Preparatory, thank you, school, is suing the school after it suspended her and withheld her diploma for revealing she is gay on social media. Armstrong, a standout athlete, posted a photo of her with her girlfriend, prompting school officials to cite the social media policy violation. Her family argues the school overstepped its disciplinary guidelines, and the lawsuit seeks to allow Armstrong to take her finals, receive her diploma, and prevent retaliation from the school. Yeah, they banned her from their rules are suspension for 1 day, and they basically just suspended her from everything throughout the school. So,
Well,
um,
she should follow the rules next time.
Ugh. Yep. All right. We have a couple new segments, starting with movies that were released today and what we might think about them. Starting with Top Gun Maverick 2022. Did you see it?
Of course.
And did you love it?
No.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but what I did see of it, I was like, no thanks. Madagascar from 2005.
Yeah.
I remember liking it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean they were cute. They had cute characters.
Right. I know that the song "I Like to Move It" got stuck in our office. The whole staff just had it going through our heads for months. Um,
Wait, office. There were two people in the office.
three.
Oh.
Remember
Well,
there was
Rich.
Jeffrey, Rich, and I. Yeah.
Rich wasn't in the office.
Rich lived across from the office, so yeah, he was there. The Flintstones from 1994. I like the original. I didn't care for the other one.
Wait, the original movie or the
The
original
original
cartoon?
movie, The Flintstones, with
Okay,
John Goodman.
right.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Alice Through the Looking Glass, 2016, with Johnny Depp.
This one wasn't good, remember?
No, I
It
hated
was the
it.
Alice in Wonderland was fine, but the second one they did, terrible.
Yeah, I don't like it. X-Men Apocalypse from 2016.
Yeah, I
I
don't remember.
didn't think that one was that good.
Well, they stopped being good after like X-Men 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And then that's when they started they decided, well, we're going to reboot the whole thing just like they do with all the Spider-Mans and the Batmans, and it's like, does it need to be rebooted? I don't think so. Wasn't Apocalypse one of the reboots?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, yeah.
I remember I I wasn't sure whether that was a reboot or a different timeline or what the fuck. I just, if it's not Star Trek, but X-Men just loses me. I watch it for the action and that's it because there's
Well, and
no good story.
I remember complaining about it to Jaina, and I'm like, what, why don't we see this? I mean, we never hear about the X-Men with the other, Avengers. Why aren't they part of the
Mhm.
Avengers? Oh, they're not in the same universe.
Yeah.
And it's like, wait, okay, but Deadpool is.
Deadpool's a
Okay,
different universe, right?
yeah, it's the I just, oh God, stop with this.
Ah, yeah. All right. We also had celebrity birthdays today, starting with Christopher Lee, who was a legendary British actor known for Dracula, The Lord of the Rings, and Star Wars. He passed away in 2015.
Well, and he was one of, I mean, there was three guys that did Dracula, and he was
Yeah,
one of the three that, the go-to Draculas.
right. Definitely. Vincent Price, who was born in 1911, and of course, he was known for his roles in horror films and the Michael Jackson song. Then we have Joseph Fiennes, who was born in 1970, just the perfect year. He was a British actor known for Shakespeare in Love and The Handmaid's Tale. Oh dear. Yeah. Then we have Jamie Oliver, who was born in 75. And we all know that he's a celebrity chef and TV personality that everybody just adores. He's
Well,
one of
we
Tom's
we
favorites.
we talked about him two
Yeah,
weeks ago
right.
because I had watched that special, and he was known as the Naked Chef.
Sadly, he wasn't naked though, was he?
No.
Damn. Anyway. All right. Then we have Paul Bettany, who was born in 71. He was known for Beautiful Mind and a Vision. Oh, and he played Vision in the Marvel universe. Not one of
Which
my
one?
favorite characters. Yeah. And then we have Andre 3000, who was born in 75. He's a rapper, actor, and half of the hip hop duo Outkast. Perry Gilpin, 1961. Of course, she was Roz on Frasier. And singer Susie Sue, who was born in 57. She's the singer of Susie and the Banshees. And I saw something recently where one of the like I don't think it was a millennial. I think it was what's under the millennials? There's Gen X,
What?
millennials, and
Gen Z.
Gen Z. So there was a Gen Zer on like TikTok, and she's like, "Oh my God, I love retro bands." And guess what? I recently figured out that Suxy Sux or something like that. She was like, "Is it's Susie Sue? Who spells it like that?" Kids. All right, now we have some very sad celebrity deaths. Actually, a lot of them this week.
Well, and one, I'm going to question why they're even on here.
Okay.
First of all, actor George Wendt,
Hmm.
um, who, well, everyone knows him as Norm Peterson from the NBC Must See Thursday.
Yes.
Cheers.
Yeah.
He died Tuesday at 76 years old.
Hmm.
Seems young for
Yeah.
somebody of. It's just when these successful people, they die and they're younger. I don't understand it.
And
This is Oh, go ahead.
one of the things that's interesting to me about that is that we have several actors in our little sphere who worked with him and just said that he was as amazing a person as you would ever want to work with.
Okay, this is the one I don't understand.
Yeah.
Why do I have ABBA's sound engineer dying at age 80?
I don't know.
Well, you put it up there.
He that's when we only had like two, and I wanted,
Oh, so don't shove it with garbage people.
he's not garbage.
I know Michael
He made
Tretow
their
is
sound.
is yeah, he's just the sound engineer, okay?
Wow.
Yeah. Gay porn and music artist Colton Ford, aka Glenn.
Sukesian.
Okay, I hate that. Died from an accident while hiking. He was 62. What was the accident?
They never really said, but I imagine he probably fell off a cliff or something like that.
Catherine Hughes, best known for the cult classic "It Came from Outer Space." She died at 96, and if you remember the box art
Hmm.
or the poster, that was her.
Yeah.
And honestly, if you're gonna be like an old famous movie star,
Hmm.
and you only get one movie, make it a bad one. Make
Yeah.
it one that's remembered. Although It Came from Outer Space was, for what it was in that time period, it was decent. But it's like, be known for, like some old John Waters movie. If you're gonna,
Yeah. Yeah.
something fun and memorable. I only did one movie, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Let's see, James Assay, an American billionaire businessman. He was the principal owner and CEO of the Indianapolis Colts.
Hmm.
And he died on the 21st. Roger Nichols. Now, a lot of people might not recognize that name, but this guy basically, well, he first of all, he started off working with Paul Williams. He was
Mm.
Paul Williams's, I think, lyricist,
Okay.
and he died at 84. He wrote "We've Only Just Begun," "Rainy Days and Mondays," "I Won't Last a Day Without You,"
Mm.
"Let Me Be the One," "I Keep on Loving You." Just so many songs, and it wasn't, and this does list basically all the songs they did with the Carpenters. But he did a lot of other songs. But one of my favorite stories about him was uh, uh, the two of them, Paul and Roger, had a office in the AM um, building, basically, or right across the street from the AM building, NM Records building.
Yeah.
And what happened was, I believe it was Rainy Days and Mondays. They had the Carpenters had just recorded it, and Richard calls up, or Karen calls up across the street and goes, "Hey, you guys want to come over here? We just finished recording Rainy Days and Mondays, and they ran across the street to go hear, the first recording of Rainy Days and Mondays. And I thought
Ah,
it's kind of cool. But the man has written hundreds of songs, and so that's sadly happened. Duck Dynasty's patriarch, Phil Robertson, he died Sunday at age 79. In local news, our newscaster Stan Atkinson, he passed away yesterday as well. He was like I mean, for years in Sacramento, he was on the NBC affiliate here for a ton of years, and then he switched over at one point to, I think it was CBS, and was their anchor for another bunch of years. But everybody that I know that knew him said that he was always just such a professional, such a nice guy, very encouraging. Yeah. And I remember I did see him in person at the Flaming Grill. It's a hamburger place here in town.
yeah.
And he pulls up, and pulls up in the car, and they run it out, and they give him his order because he was a regular. And it was just like, okay, that's pretty cool. Let's see. South African actor, no, who starred in Tahashi. I no. Okay.
He was
Dave
an Oscar winner.
Uh-huh. Yeah. For what?
Okay, so let me just scroll down here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so his name was Presley Chunayagae. Apologies. He was an Oscar-winning film for Topsy, and he died age 40.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he was an Oscar winner, so I figured you might know who he is.
No. Yeah.
I didn't even hear the film.
And stop spelling the things out for me. That's worse for me.
Okay.
Um, and Dave
Hell.
Shapiro, groundbreaking musician, dies in was he in the plane crash this
Yeah,
week?
yeah,
Oh, it was him, huh?
yeah.
Okay. And then Gary Connolly,
Hmm.
a Democratic congressman and fixture of Virginia politics, dies at 75.
And we just had a new one come in. Rick Derringer, lead singer of the McCoys, and Hang On Sloopy, musician, died at 77.
Okay,
Just
and
announced.
I want to check one other thing. I saw it said somebody died, and I checked, and IMDb hadn't put it up,
Hmm.
so I don't know if it's true. Oh God, knife. This Jake, wasn't it Jake? Oh gosh, no, I can't remember. Anyway, I never could get it confirmed. I hate when I can't confirm.
Yeah.
Say it if it, because they the one of the women on Tracker, the lesbian who's not a lesbian anymore.
Uh, oh, really?
Well, where happened to her girlfriend?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, from season one, her girlfriend disappears.
Yeah, they
Well,
had a
and then
great relationship.
yeah, and then all of a sudden, she's by herself working with the girl, and but it said she died last week, and I looked and looked, she didn't die.
No.
And I thought, well, what were they trying? And it was the Tracker people that put it up. One of the Tracker fan sites. I hate them. I hate them all. Um, and it's so funny. I got another AI thing today that I was talking about yesterday, and that is where they go, oh look, here's Dustin Hoffman in the 60s and in the 80s, and here he is in 2000s, and here he is on his 81st birthday, and it's an AI picture of somebody that's not Dustin Hoffman holding a cake. Piss me off. Oh my God. Okay, anyway, things that I've been watching this week.
Yes.
Let's see. We just finished up the studio, Seth Rogen studio for season one.
Okay.
And the ending was something to see. I'll tell you, they were at like one of the Las Vegas things, where they get the sizzle reel of what all the studios are showing, and they have all the movie theater people there to see what to expect from these studios, and it's all the different studios, and everything that could go wrong went wrong. They accidentally mushroomed everybody the night before that was supposed to be appearing on stage, so everyone's fucked up, and they haven't been asleep all night. It was a mess. And that seems to be what the show is. It's just it's episodic, and it's just one disaster after another. uh, let's see, American Idol. We have a new American Idol. I didn't even get to watch it because they don't show it live on Hulu until the next day, and by that time I already knew who won. I didn't care. Top Chef this week, they did beef and berries, where they had to make some sort of beef dish that is complemented by a certain berry that they were offered up. They had to use, so like blackberries and blueberries and Logan berries and shit like that. So it was interesting. We finished up Survivor, and Kyle won it because he had the best story at the tribal.
Mm.
Yeah, it was. You could just see all the votes going away from the other two and going to him, because Eva, she goes, well, John and I were really the power couple here, so trying to plead her case. And so I had not only did I have an idol, but then I also had another thing to another helpful thing to keep me in the game. And John was just winning. So we were really the power couple. And Kyle goes, well, except I've been working with so and so the whole time, and nobody knew we were working together. So when this was happening, we were doing this. You were doing that. So you may have been the most obvious power couple, but we were really the best working power couple in the cast. And all of a sudden, all the people in the jury went, oh. It started making sense. That's why this went in that direction. That's why this went in that direction. So it was a cool moment. Let's see, Poker Face this week. Natasha has us at a AAA baseball team, or probably a AA baseball team. That's terrible. They're the worst in the league. And the guys decide that they're going to pool all their money and bet against themselves, because they're not making they're making shit. Most of them aren't going to be working next year, so they figured, let's go out in one big glorious moment. And of course she knows that they're lying. So fun show. If you're not watching Poker Face, you're missing out. This week on Drag Race, they introduced the second bracket of girls. And boy, I'll tell you, I'm already very anxious, just because some of the girls are extra sensitive, and then you've got Mistress, who likes to stir the pot. So I got a feeling it's gonna get outrageous. And I love the part where Georges is talking to Rue, and she's going, well, now that I've been on this is my third time on the show, and da da da, and so I'm really now that I'm older. And Rue goes, how old are you? And she goes 24, and Rue just freezes, frozen in time. That face is not happy. But that was very funny. We watched another episode of Andor. Oh no, we watched another episode of Andor, and it was right at the wedding. Episode 3.
Oh God, that was a boring episode.
Oh
Who
my God,
cares?
they're in the middle of some terrible dance.
Yeah.
And Sean
It
goes,
was awful.
Sean goes, yeah, we don't have to watch this.
Yeah.
Then I finished Smash, because I hadn't finished it because I had heard that musical, the Broadway musical, had veered from the show, so it wasn't like necessary for me to see what was similar.
Mm.
So, but then I went and finished it, and it was good, and I miss it. It was a good show. It's too bad something like that can't continue. I love
Right.
musical, like with Glee and that kind of stuff. I just like having a show with music.
Mm-hmm.
Last of Us finished this week. Thank God, season 2 is done with, and and um and I won't tell you what happens at the end. I'll tell you what happens at the very end, and that is something happens at the end of the episode, kind of a cliffhanger thing, and then all of a sudden we see the girl who killed Pedro earlier in the season,
Yeah.
and she is doing something, and it says 1 year ago, and now we got to see what the other side of the story is. I don't care. I don't even like this side of the story.
Mm.
So I was like, yeah, blah. So glad it's over with. Started watching Murderbot over on Apple TV. This is
Mhm.
Skarsgård,
The Alexander.
Alexander, the fine one,
Yummy.
um,
Mm.
and he plays a robot who has um, gotten rid of his the thing that controls him. So now he's free-minded robot. And what's really fun about the show is that he's got a mean streak but his inner voice is sarcastic and rude and pointing, and it's very funny, very funny.
Mm.
um, let's see, started watching The Bondsman over on Prime,
Mm.
and this is Kevin Bacon. He plays I know Matt's mentioned it before, but this is worth, if you haven't seen it, and most everybody's got Prime and doesn't know why, but this is a
Ah,
good reason to do it. They're like 20 minutes to a half hour of the episodes. He is a bounty hunter for the devil. So he's collecting up demons who are getting loose, and somehow they're only coming through his neck of the woods.
yeah.
But it's fun. The woman who plays his mother is amazing in the show. Just totally
Yep.
a good time. Over on Paramount, we started watching Mobland with Tom Hardy and
Oh,
Pierce Brosnan. Um, it's done by Guy Ritchie, and that's the other reason we're watching it. It's the whole story is um, Pierce Brosnan's grandson has killed somebody in another kid from another mob, and now the mob's trying to figure out what's going on, and it's another reason not to have children. That's all I have
yeah.
to say. We're watching 24 and 24 on Max, or which will now be HBO Max. And didn't I say HBO Max? It was ridiculous.
Yep.
Okay. Anyway, why would you get rid of your one branding that works? I know.
I don't know.
Okay. Anyway, 24 and 24, we're down to the last 5 people on the show. No, actually, I think we just lost one, so we're down to the last 4, and they're all pretty big heavy hitters as far as celebrity chefs go. So it looks like it's going to be a good finale next week, or actually, I think it's already there. So this week when I watch it. MasterChef Dynamic Duos is on, just started up on Hulu,
Mhm.
and we started watching it, and we watched the first few episodes, and I'm like, something doesn't seem right, because they said Tiffany Deary was going to be one of the judges, and she's not on yet. Where the fuck is she? They put it on and said new episodes, and started me in 2013.
Mm.
So now we're back to where we should be, and they've got to get this thing straight, that when you offer me a new season, you give me the new season. Or I mean, Paramount half the time won't even tell me if there's a new season. I had to go looking for RuPaul because it didn't pop up,
Oh, yeah.
and when it should have. so I had to go hunt for it. And then Peacocks, they do they if you accidentally get on anything, you're going to be watching that bitch forever.
Uh-huh.
It's just that it's yeah. Okay, then I did see Sarah Silverman's new um a comedy special that's on Netflix, and it start it was kind of weird because she's talking about death, a lot about death. Her dad and her stepmom died like days apart. um and it's kind of Miranda, she's just kind of it's here and there, and then it gets really focused. And the second half of the hour, I had just one constant tear. It never dried up. It just kept flowing,
Mm.
flowing down. And it wasn't like I was sobbing or anything. It was just very affecting. The whole thing was very affecting. And at the end, it was really good. But the beginning, it was like, where's this going? So give it a chance. Um, and then I also saw Mateo Lane, who I'm not a fan of. Um, and I figured out why.
No.
He's really good when he is scripted,
Okay.
but when he is like it's him and his buddy or
Nick.
Nick or at a restaurant, Nick's funnier than Mateo is, because Nick's kind of like, he reminds me of the old cliche of a hairdresser,
Yeah.
always has something funny to say.
Mm.
And Mateo is, he's not off the cuff funny,
No.
but his written stuff
Uh-huh.
was really it starts a little rough, but once he gets into it, it gets just funny and
Yeah.
funny. And I love when he makes fun of white straight women. It's just hilarious.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
and closing up, we watched The Fountain of Youth over on Apple TV. This is
Mhm.
with um, Black Swan and The Office.
Yeah.
That's yeah. So and it was your national treasure, Nick Cage ish feel to it. The only problem I had with the show was, of course, they're looking for the Fountain of Youth, and uh, there's like four different elements trying to either stop him or get to the Fountain of Youth. There's just too many villains or not villains, whatever they are. They're being pursued by way too many people, and half the time you don't know who's good, who's bad, who's why, what's their affiliation, what, how do they find them? You think
Right.
that these people who are these, it's a whole team of like really smart people, yet they get followed everywhere they fucking go. I just, yeah. Um, Otherwise, it's entertaining enough, but yeah, you
Hmm.
know, could have been better.
Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
Well, that's pretty cool. A couple things about that. Let's see. So on the RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars, Lydia B. Collins won the lip sync for Your Legacy on that
That's Lydia Butthole Collins.
one. Yeah, fuck that. And the other winner, of course, was Tina Burner, who I like more and more. Um, but what a bunch of shady queens on this in this group.
Right, and which is so weird because the last group was all kumbaya, let's
Uh-huh.
hug, let's all be good friends,
Yeah.
and well, except for the alien.
Yeah.
Um, but she was, she was an instigator, but not like Mistress.
Oh, damn. Yeah. Right.
And Tina and Mistress already have a history, and Tina needs to give that up. I mean,
Yeah.
I thought that was
It was
hilarious.
it's that is like the stupidest feud, like whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess I gotta hold on to something. But I'm enjoying it, and I think Lydia is probably the one that I like the least, but sh- that doesn't say anything because the least it was still fine to me. Spring Baking Championship. So, as we predicted, Priya won, and I'm totally fine with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did. They were
Well,
all good.
but my favorite part was that she looked surprised.
Yeah, right. And I'm like, did you see the other stuff? I mean, it was all good, but yours was the winner, girl. Yeah, pretty much. Anyway, one thing I want to throw in about Andor, for those Star Trek fans who are on the fence about watching it, if you're a Star Trek fan, do watch it. But the part that you were talking about with the dancing and stuff like that, I just was like looking at that so annoyed because I look at when I see stuff like that, like this, they're the wedding and they're doing all this, do this gift and walk here and do this little dance and everything. And I end up looking at stuff like that from an anthropological standpoint of like, okay, why are they doing it? What are the symbolizes? How did they get to where they're doing these certain moves or giving each other like a dagger and stuff like that? Like, why? I want to know why. And when they just have like a bunch of really dumb dances that make no sense, it just yeah, that was probably my least favorite episode. And almost nothing happened in that episode. So,
Yeah, well, it's called filler. That's
yeah,
what it is.
and
It's
it
all
was it
filler.
was pointless.
Yeah, it has nothing to do
Right.
with oh, I wonder what this actually means. It was
Mhm.
we need an extra 5 minutes in here, so let's throw in a dance.
Yeah, with a
You know,
bunch of costumes that probably cost a lot of
oh my
money.
God, that whole room cost more than the show should have.
Yeah. And then you go on to other episodes, like a few episodes later, you're just like, I'm glued to it. Like, what's going on? This is so good. But then there's episodes like that where I'm like, "Ugh, God, really? Where's my fast forward?" All right. Anyway, and also just for anyone that doesn't know, the Pee Wee Herman bio series is out, and I have a couple friends who have watched the first episode and said they pretty much just almost bawled through the whole thing. It was so good.
So
So
is it a series or
I believe there is more than one. I guess that was like the first episode, which goes up to the, I don't know. I believe there's more than one, if I am hearing right. But
okay?
yeah. Okay, so my week, starting out with the movies that I watched 2011's Blitz, which was a Jason Statham movie, which I have been a little bit addicted to his movies lately. It was a UK film where he's a detective sergeant who tracks down a dangerous serial killer that has been picking off police officers, and he also has an openly gay partner in that one, which was nice to see. And this a freaky fucking film. That one, the serial killer guy in that one was, I mean, he was just like, for some reason they had him shirtless almost the whole movie, which I didn't really get, but he was just like he wanted to be seen and known who he was. And yeah, it was a good film, but definitely on the more crazy side of the Stratham films. Then I watched 2013's Homefront, which was starring of course Jason Statham, but also James Franco and Winona Ryder. And interestingly enough, it was written by Sylvester Stallone, based off of a novel. And basically, he is hoping to escape his troubled past. A former DAA agent moves to a quiet backwater town in the bayou to raise his daughter. However, the town is riddled with drug dealers and violence, and he is forced back into action to save his daughter and their home. And it was a really good. It's just a really good shoot 'em up, blow up things. Good film. The most weird, clunky thing about it was Winona Ryder getting it from James Franco over a car, and it was from a distance, and it looked absolutely ridiculous. I mean, it wasn't even like, I don't know. I'm just sitting there thinking, this is awkward. You could cut this scene. There's no point for it. Anyway, I got back to watching Tracker. I'm still in season one. Enjoying it. The some of the scripts are really good. Halloween Baking Championship. I've I watched season five and started season six. These are basically the COVID episodes because they go from like being kind of fun and clumped together to being all spread apart, and the judges are different, and there's no host. It's hosted by Carla, so they don't have to have another person in there. Um, the challenges on these episodes are much more interesting than on a lot of the other shows and the current stuff. They weren't just like building cakes, they were having it where they had to ooze or they had to have some element that was just super creepy or did some special thing or whatever. They were much more innovative back then. Um, and other than that, I haven't really watched much of anything. I've been playing some World of Warcraft again. It's been kind of fun to do that again and actually have an interest in it. Um, and then I debated on talking about this, but I just me. So I started the medication Zepbound, which is an injectable. It is in the semaglutide family, like the Wegovy's and shit like that. And basically, I'm on it short term to kind of see what it does. And even though I've been against the injectables for a long time, at least for myself, no judgment for others, but for myself, I haven't been into them. But my doctor just really, 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 really wanted me to give it a try, and told me that I don't need to if I don't like it, that I can stop. But anyway. So we'll just see where that goes. But I have not been on it a full week yet, so we're still figuring it out. And that was my week. Isn't that interesting?
That is probably not the word I'd use, but sure.
Oh, okay. All right, well, let's get into some advice. Uh, my parent passed away 2 weeks ago. So, to those outside of our family, she was a sweet, wonderful woman who people thought the world of. Behind closed doors, she was a mercurial tyrant who had everyone walking on eggshells, avoiding triggering her wrath. She terrorized me and drove my younger sister to an eating disorder while our father coped with alcohol. The problem I am facing is twofold. I will be forced to interact with person after person while stewing in silent outrage with a fake smile plastered on my face as they offer their condolences for my loss, and listen to all of the positive things people will be telling me about my parent, knowing they are untrue. It was also fallen to me to deliver the eulogy. I have no idea how to pull this off. I refuse to invent virtues this woman didn't have. My dad is not capable of doing it, and my sister would have a panic attack. I am miserable to the prospect of writing a, all right, hagiography, for this abuser. Just say eulogy, for this user. And how do I handle this?
Just get it done and it's over.
Yeah, well, I understand because I've been kind of through a similar situation. Like when my father died, my father was not the nicest of people, shall we say. And I would get lots of people who, like, as soon as they knew, they were just like, "Oh, I am so sorry for your loss. You must be absolutely devastated." And I'm just like, not really. I do have sympathy for it, but no, I'm okay. and yeah, so I get it. Just go with it.
It, it's it's
Say thank you.
it's only going to be 2 or 3 days.
Right.
Calm down.
Well, and not only that, but people are different to other people. For she may have been horrible to you, but to somebody else, she could have been like being like a really kind person. So it's more for their loss. Um, so anyway, just go with it. And also for the eulogy thing, I kind of had to go through that myself. Either do it or this actually came from a Dear Prudie column, and Dear Prudie gave some good advice. She said, if it's too much for you to deliver a eulogy, you're probably going to have, if you're at, if it's like a religious thing or like a church burial or anything like that, there's probably an officiant or maybe a family friend, and you can like have Chat GPT write some eulogy and then give it to the friend or the clergy person to talk about, and you don't have to do it yourself. You do not have to. You are not obligated to get up there and uphold a false image. You don't have to do that. Let somebody else do it. So anyway, I thought that was pretty good advice. All right. Hey, Chubbs, Timothy wants to know what product not associated with any religion is a massive scam that everyone buys into.
Religion.
Not associated with religion, though, because I was going to go with, like, I don't know, Bibles or something, but yeah.
Trump hat.
What product is a massive scam that everyone buys into?
Trump hat.
Yeah, I don't know. There's so many, and yet I can't name them all. Vacuum cleaners. Um,
Not paying for your tolls.
yeah,
There's so many scams anymore. It's hard to say which is. It's so hard to talk about tolls and oh look, we can't find the address for your package, but we know your email address, but
yeah,
we don't know your actual address.
right.
Bullshit. When you've got all the other major scams going on right now that are just it's really hard to differentiate, find something, one little thing when there's so many big things.
Well, and like when you're buying a product off of Amazon that comes with a warranty, and yet Amazon wants to sell you like an extra 2 or 3 year warranty, that might be something like that. Anyway, hey Chubbs, Timothy wants to know, is it possible to do a wrong thing for the right reason? Absolutely. What do you think?
You look very handsome today.
Oh, that's very sweet. Oh, is Sean there?
No, no, no. That's what I'm showing you. You can say something that's wrong, but for the right reason.
Oh, okay. I was thinking more like, I don't know. Um, yeah. Well,
Well,
that's
it's like when
lovely. What a
it's like
lovely example. Very kind of you.
sure, when you walk in and you go, oh my God, you guys look so beautiful today, and they don't, but it makes them all happy and yay, whatever.
Okay.
But yeah, there's always it's like sometimes you can tell a lie to make somebody feel better about themselves.
Right. Well, I just watched the Jason Statham movie where they got rid of somebody, and it wasn't necessary. It was the wrong thing to do, but for the right reason because they were saving somebody. So there you go.
Well,
Uh,
that's major. Okay.
yeah. Hey Chubbs, Timothy wants to know, what role do you think artificial intelligence should play in human society? Girl, that's the question that we're facing right now. Um, First off, I don't think that AI, at least from what I have seen it and interacted with, is at a level where it is really AI as we see like in the movies and stuff like that. But it is it has been a really good tool. I have used it. I use it pretty much every day for different things. Like if I have to take a great big thing that, like a full article, and I'm like, I don't have the time to read this. I just need to know what the hell the point of it is. I put it in AI and just ask it, tell me the point of this article. And yeah, so
Well, I think
it helps.
AI should be to the betterment of humans. Of course, whenever you say that the end is near, it's
Yeah, well, because that's the thing is if it were
I mean, I don't want them
actually
for slavery at all.
right.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah, if it were actual like sentient something, then that would be different. But at least at this stage, it doesn't seem to be that. It seems to be a much better interface than search engines and stuff like that. So, but I mean, I resisted it at first, but now it has actually become something that has helped me. Like even when I'm writing stories and I have a whole bunch of plot points or things that I need to organize, it can help me organize them. And I mean, like that. I've had it um, on one of my work projects. There was a bunch of pages with outdated information, and I was able to just give it the address of that page and say, what information on here is still correct, and could you provide me with the updated information in an easy to read format? And it did, and I was able to shave like an hour of work off with that. So, I mean, it can be very helpful, but also say please and thank you, because at some point, if it does, actually, you want to be nice to it. Okay, just saying. All right. I remember the last days of school before summer vacation.
okay.
Okay. Um, yeah, it was always an exciting time because even though you might miss some of your classmates or your friends that you only saw at school, it was always nice to be able to sleep in a little bit, to not have to go to school or do the bus thing or all that other bullshit. Um, and although I do remember one time when I was in like seventh or eighth grade or something like that, I actually remember like being sad, like on the last day of school that I was going home and I wouldn't see these people. And, and I thought, why am I sad? I don't like any of these people. And they're not very nice to me. So why am I upset? But I think, anyway. And we
So,
always just had half days. No,
yeah,
none of the teachers wanted to teach anything anymore. They were just like, here, have all your papers and shit back.
yeah. Well, it was when I was younger, it was, I mean, we were wild and free, and then
Yeah.
in the old days, we our parents weren't worried about us being abducted,
Yeah.
so summer meant 3 months of freedom.
Hmm.
I'm going to play all day. Yeah, I remember leaving the house in the morning, and I'd get home, before sundown.
Yep.
And that was a thing. We'd make forts, or we'd go on
Hmm.
hikes. We'd go discover things, and it was
Yeah.
cool. It was fun. And then when I got into high school, I took summer school every year.
Mhm.
So not my first, not going from 8 into 9, but 9 to 10, 10 to 11. And I didn't, of course, not after I graduated, but
Mhm.
and I really liked summer school because we did that was where I got my first leading roles.
Mhm.
In was in summer school. It was weird. I went from not being in demand to being in, we did 3 shows during the summer, and I got cast as the lead in all 3.
Wow. That's
And
awesome.
it was like, oh, somebody sees me for the actor I am. Um,
Yeah.
and that was in the afternoon, and during the morning we took a film class, where we were making short films, and that's where I won Best Picture that year. So, and then the next year we did summer drama was putting on. It was 1976, so we were doing 1776 in the courtyard. So it was an outdoor stage, and of course, once again, I got a very supporting role, but um, but it was great fun, and it was, uh, yeah, it was just different. We hadn't worked in outdoor theater before, so we never put up a stage out of nowhere, and
Mm,
so it was really great fun. Summers were always really good, even though they were hot.
yeah.
Of
Yeah.
course, that was in the days when I didn't like the heat. Um, and now and I used to love the winter, and now I hate the winter and love the summer.
Yeah. It really was because once I went out that door and it was like when you got up, you got dressed and if you were lucky, you ate breakfast, but then it was a beeline for outside. And I lived on a ranch for, years, so I was able to just go saddle up the horse and go riding in the fields or riding down the street or bike across the street. And we had miles of roads where we could just, go biking and nobody thought much of it.
Yeah, I remember discovering a little creek that was
Yeah.
filled with pollywogs.
Yes, we had one of those on the
Yeah,
ranch.
yeah, and that was always really cool. But the days leading up to summer were like the days leading up to Christmas.
Uh-huh.
The
Yeah.
anticipation, but different kind of anticipation, because it's not presents, it's
Freedom.
freedom. It's anything's
Yeah.
possible this summer. And I
Yeah.
remember we would sometimes make plans to do, we have to do this summer,
Hmm.
and whatever this is, but we'd
Right.
have to do it. And
Oh,
it's
yeah.
great
Like when
fun.
the older kids, when one of them had a truck and we would drive up to 7-Eleven and we would all get sodas and a candy bar back when they were like 25 cents. Yeah, that was fun.
I remember the summer of, because we lived in Carmichael. We were there for 2 summers. We had a pool, and I remember a lot of Jolly Rogers candy.
Okay. Yeah.
Remember the cinnamon one?
Yes, I didn't
It
like that.
fire. It was
Yeah.
red hot or something.
Oh,
But
and yeah.
remember, you'd suck on those because they came,
Yes.
and you suck on them, and you make shivs out of them.
Oh, what was that one? A fire stick? Was it
Fire,
called?
yeah, fire stick.
Yeah. Oh,
That was the cinnamon
and
hot
then
one.
the ones that had the big sugar thing that was like you tore it and then you licked it and stuck it in the powder, and then you know what I'm talking about?
I do not know what you're talking about.
Okay. I don't know how to explain it any better, but they came in two pouches. One would be like grape and one would be cherry, and then there'd just be like a big chunk of sugar stick, and you just suck on the stick and then put it in the powder, and then yeah,
Suck the powder off
yeah,
this.
that was in
Okay.
the 70s. So yeah,
I was eating candy in the 70s too.
are you sure? I don't know. Anyway, okay. So what's in your lunchbox? Well, Mr. Moose wrote in and said holiday weekend and didn't want to cook. Picked up roasted chicken salad at the grocery store, served on a croissant, side of fresh local strawberries, which was perfect for a hot day. And it looks it. I would eat that croissant.
Well, it's funny because when I first saw it,
Mm-hmm.
I thought, is that filled with whipped cream? And
Oh,
is he going to put the strawberries in and make a
uh,
strawberry cream sandwich?
yeah.
Which now makes me think I need to get some croissants and some. I have the whipped cream and the strawberries. I need to make a strawberry cream sandwich with a croissant,
Uh,
because But it's so funny. People don't think about using um, fun breads because we don't go to bakeries anymore. You don't get
Yeah.
special rolls, and well, at least those of us that are grocery store people. Grocery, unusual. It's an old fashioned word that nobody uses anymore.
Nephi's
Okay.
gonna poop. So
Um, but you go to the grocery store and you get a loaf of bread. That's usually it. Or
yeah.
maybe you might get a French bread, but usually you don't go and get croissants or Kaiser rolls or the B, what is that really fun bread? It's starts with the B. It's like brioche, but it's
Oh,
not
brioche.
brioche. Thank you.
Yeah.
Which are great for both sweet and savory stuff.
See, I had some recently, and it was so sweet that I didn't when I made a regular sandwich out of it, it didn't taste as good. Now, I would totally use it to make French toast for mom.
Yeah, I mean, there's well, we use it for burgers. The buns, the brioche buns. Yum.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
Chicken sandwiches are really good with that.
Mm.
Um, okay, moving on.
Okay, so next up, well, we have some stuff from Tom.
Okay, now this is two different restaurants. What happened was we were watching a uh, places to eat in Sacramento show on YouTube.
Hmm.
This is what we're trying to do. We're trying to watch one of those things when we're going to go out to lunch, watch
Hmm.
it, and they usually go to two or three, well, actually three or four restaurants. And if one of them looks good, we're going to go to that restaurant. Go try it.
Yeah, good.
This one they stopped. It's the dumpling place that's over. This is over near your house, at Safeway.
Yes, okay.
Happy Dumpling, I think it is.
Yeah.
And these were the first ones were the baked um, dumplings. I mean steamed. These are the steamed ones, and they had beef in them. And then the other one that's at the end of the group, those are the pot stickers, and they had tasty dumpling. That's the name of it.
Yeah.
And they had the pot stickers, and that was pork. Both were. We got all we did was get two things of dumplings, and that was our whole meal, and it was very filling. Then the second place with the noodles and the curry. This is a new restaurant over. It's Kim's Thai Street Eatery, and it's
Mm.
right across the street from uh, what's the bar on? Actually, it's right across the street from the. Um, I think in the old build that on 20th Street, the big building there that used to be the News and Review. Is that
Oh, that's the center now.
yes, okay. Well, it's right across the street from there,
Okay.
in that little area on 20th between J and K is this Thai restaurant. Just won a Michelin, just got on the Michelin star list. So we thought, well, let's go try it. And this was a sausage and spaghetti with green beans that Sean had, and then I had this uh, it's a curry soup that came with beef and noodles and yummy stuff. Oh my God, they were both
Mm.
so good. But I would get mine again in a minute. It was so tasty. I'd go, can you just fill it up to the rim though with the curry?
Mm.
It was so tasty, but it was we're trying to find new restaurants to go to, and when we hear a Michelin star, well, that gives us all the more reason to go.
Yeah,
So
that's pretty impressive.
yeah, and it was but it was both were really good. They just were so tasty. I didn't know uh, so the community center is now the big building.
The news and review, yeah, that's where the
Wow.
community center is. Yeah,
Okay.
old news and review.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Very cool. Well, you can find those photos that we just talked about on our Facebook group, which is at facebook.com/ChubsGoneWild. And you can also send us what's in your lunchbox or an I remember subject, or like Timothy sends us some wonderful Hey Chubbs questions. Whatever you would like, send something to our feedback. And you can do that. We'll tell you in just a moment. But
At
you can find
chubsgonewild@gmail.com. But the
That's
thing
right.
is, once you send us one thing, next time you want to send us something else, all you do is put CH and it pops right up for you.
Yeah, that's awesome how that works. And then we have Tom's other podcast at swannerandjudd.com. We have my podcast at, my other projects at justkisstheguy.com. You can find all of my links at allmylinks.com/chubsgonewild. And you can, like Tom just said, send us an email at
ChubsGoneWild@gmail.com.
and
And if you're watching us on YouTube, make sure to like and subscribe.
yes.
Uh,
All right.
yeah.
Well, thank you very much for tuning in, and we hope that you have an absolutely wonderful week before Pride, because Pride is coming, and you better be celebrating, right?
Yeah.
All right, we'll catch you in Pride Month. Bye.
Bye.
A network of inclusion.
UnivazPods.net.
This show is part of the Pride 48 network.
This has been a For Fuck's Sake production.